I feel like my journey through comedy is like opened my mind a lot because like it's like kung fu. Like I trained a little bit with the woke folk, and I trained a little bit with the say whatever you want people. And I feel like I have found my own. Like Bruce Lee said, the greatest technique is to have no technique. I like dirty jokes, racist jokes, woke jokes. I like a little bit of everything.
You gotta have it like that. Smorgasbord, a gumbo. Bruce Lee's buried in Seattle too.
This is from Seattle too?
The candy?
Yeah.
No, Bruce Lee is though.
Bruce Lee's from Seattle?
No, Bruce Lee's
He's
buried.
from San Francisco.
No, he's buried here.
He's buried in Seattle? Why?
Yeah. I mean, it's where he wanted to be buried.
All right.
What up, beautiful people? It's your boy Nate Jackson. It's another episode of Opinionated. We're about to get into it. I have a special guest here with me today. I'm happy to have, and it's Ralph Barbosa. There he is.
I'm Ralph Barbosa. What's up, everybody? Thank you for having me, Nate Jackson.
So I'm gonna ask you some questions because I actually wrote some down, and I want you to answer them, and then we're gonna make it funny, and then we're just gonna move on from there organically.
Okay.
But you're born in Dallas, but you live in Mesquite.
I was born in Dallas. I grew up in Mesquite. Technically, Mesquite and Garland, which are two suburbs of Dallas, and I don't know which one claims me or I should claim because I grew up right on the borderline of both of those. Sorry about that.
Well, first they say you ain't from here, then they start saying you are.
Yes, but some of my hype is dying down now, so they're going back to be like, he ain't even from here.
You gotta knock somebody out in one of those two places. And then scream, whatever you yell out when you hit them, that's where they're gonna say you from. So Mesquite, ho. They're like, oh, okay, you repping Mesquite.
All right. I live out in the country now, so I'm gonna just claim like country road.
There you go. Why are you proud of Mesquite though?
Because I don't know. I feel like it's a not respected suburb neighborhood. Like if you're like I grew up there and all my cousins who lived like in Dallas, like in ghetto ass areas, were like, you live in a good area, like you soft, you know? But then when I started meeting white people, when I started doing stand-up comedy, they're like, from Mesquite, like, oh, that's horrible, like that's disgusting. So it's like, bro, you don't get no respect. Like if you're from the hood, this place is nice. But if you're from like an actual suburb, like a nicer one, they're like, bro, that's horrible. So I felt like it's a not respected area, and I want people younger than me and after me and before me to take more pride in it and be like, well, Ralph's from Mesquite. But I'm also kind of a doofus, so that might be like, that's not helping.
Do you do anything to put Mesquite on other than be
other than
yourself?
Be from Mesquite?
Yeah, other than be from there and be dope.
I give people money, like not like for a charity. I just kind of like friends, family.
Yeah,
I'm like, here, get out of debt. But don't do that. That's not a good example to set.
That's a great example to set because if people don't have debt, then they can do for themselves and put on too.
Half the people I've gotten out of debt have just gotten back into debt.
Well, don't give it to them without a plan.
It's like curing somebody who likes to have sex with no condoms. Like they're gonna catch an STD again, you know?
Well,
you can't cure everybody.
Here's the thing. We were talking about that because it was a metaphor about giving people money with a plan or not a plan.
Oh.
Yeah, so if they have no plan, no plan is going raw.
My only plan, and I think a lot of these people only plan was just like not be broke anymore, not be in debt anymore. And half of them were like, I'm gonna do good with this, trust me. But then they have bad spending habits. Excuse me. But I learned not only from trial and error, but from my own trial and error, because I'm bad with money. I like to gamble a lot.
What's your game?
Anything. I love to gamble on sports. I don't even watch sports. That's the fun part.
Would you just like the colors?
They just be
the
like,
blue team.
I know like 2, 3, people from each like team. So I'll be like, if I recognize them, I kind of don't want to go. Like I'll be on the apps, the gambling apps, and I'll be like, oh, Austin Reeves. Like I saw him on TV twice. I'm like, let's put it all on him.
So you just multiple choice gambling.
Sometimes I'll gamble on sports I don't even like remotely watch. Like, cause I like basketball, but sometimes I'll be like, all right, here we go with soccer. Never watched the whole soccer game in my life.
Man, the biggest thing the biggest wins I got off of gambling, I randomly was up at like 3:30 in the morning and I was checking out like one of the sports betting apps, and I was like, I want a game that's actively going on right now. The only thing that was going on was badminton in like the Ukraine. And and this lady was losing, but she was busting her ass, right? And I was like, she's gonna turn this shit around. I put like 300 on her right quick, and then she came around and won, and then it flipped the hit. I was like, golly.
I never stop gambling until I lose everything, but that's why I give myself like a limit. So like Zach, our manager, has seen it too. Like we'll go in a casino and I'll be like, all right, $400, but that's it. Like that's all I'm. Yeah, and I don't care if I'm up to like 1,200, 1,500. Like I'm not gonna stop until I lose everything.
Right.
I don't know why. It's fun to me. It's fun to see like, damn, like, and this is gonna sound like.
So hold on. So you start off with 400, you go up to 5,000. You're going until the everything's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need a puller.
Nah. Well, for what? It's fun.
No, you need a puller. It could be fun the next day. You need somebody to pull your ass up out of there when you up.
I'm good. You
gotta learn to This is how you do it, right? You keep your juice. Okay. You ain't got no juice.
Yeah.
You know what juice is?
Like apple juice?
No. Juice is your other winnings. That's what you should be gambling with. If you lose every time, you're just going to the ATM.
I mean, I'll go to the ATM. Like I'm telling you, I have a limit though. Like if I played $500 and then I lost $500, or I might go to the ATM like one more time, two more times, but there's a certain limit. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So you're keeping yourself from losing your dick, but you are definitely losing your winnings.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah. Feels good.
To just have taken a chance?
Yeah. It's the ride, you know? It's like going to a Universal theme park. You're not coming out of there with more money than you went in, but man, you went on some rides.
Right. But there's no chance of winning.
Yeah. I'm a born loser, bro.
You just went in there to consume? So you think the casino is Six Flags?
Sorry, I had to drink that. Yeah. I started doing it because my first time gambling at a casino, I opened up for Angela Johnson.
Uh-huh.
And I had like $20 to my name.
Okay.
And I remember I went to play a few games at the casino floor with my 20.
Fucked right and hit.
And so people were like betting on if I would win or lose or not.
Side bets on you winning?
Yeah. So they're like, I got some on the comedian. And so when I started having my own popularity and I'd go to casino, people would do that more. They're like, I got 20 on Ralph. Like, what do you think, Ralph? And so I wanted them to always like lose.
So if they're playing roulette, like, Ralph, what number you think? You'll say a number?
Yeah. Be like, put it all on 13 or you're a bitch.
And that's going to lose every time? There's no miraculous story where somebody was like, holy shit, I won everything because we're listening to Ralph Barbosa.
Actually, yesterday, me and Renee, shout out to Renee Vaca, we were walking out of our show to the casino floor, and this older white lady was like, I enjoyed y'all show. She's like, I don't know where my husband's at, but he loves y'all. But what number should I pick? Red or black or odd or even, whatever. She was playing roulette.
Uh-huh.
And I forgot what we picked. And then we walked off to go look for a different table and stuff. And we killed like 10, 15 minutes taking pictures with people. And we were like, man, let's just go back. And when we were walking back, that lady stopped us again. She's like, hey, I won $600. Thanks to y'all's number. Like, pick another number. I said 13. And it landed on 1, and she lost like a lot of money.
You should have been like, give me my cut.
Bro, I told her, like, don't listen to me. Like, you seem genuine, like a nice lady. Like,
right.
Don't listen to me. But if they're just some, like, cocky dudes, like, yelling, I'm like, fuck it, bro. We lose together.
We'll lose together, huh? All right, well. It's a shift. I actually did some questions, so I'm gonna ask my question. I feel like it's kind of corny to come. I feel like Shannon Sharp. He got his little cue cards.
Hey, boy, look at Shannon Sharp, bro. He's famous. He got one of the most famous.
He's doing his
podcast
thing
now. You know?
Yeah. Well, my question is, what was doing Fallon like? I've done a lot of things, but I haven't done late night.
Late night is cool. I really like it because a lot of comedians don't like the rules that they put on you, which I can understand that. It's like, if I just said something and I make people laugh, like, that's part of my set. You know, don't critique it too much. Like, if it works, it works.
Right.
But Jimmy Fallon, the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon is it's like this very corporate late night show. Like, you got to be real careful what they say. You can't make jokes about like religion, or you got to tote the line if you mention anything with sex. Like, it can't be too graphic. So like, you gotta submit a whole 5-minute set for those of y'all who don't know, and they gotta let you know if you like meet the requirements, and you also want to be getting heavy laughs, a lot of laughs per minute, you know.
Right.
But within and so to me it was like a challenge, and I like doing it. I actually spent like almost 2 years getting that set together before it finally like.
Before they accepted it and said, "Come on."
Well, Matthew Broussard, he's out of New York. He helped me like put a set together, but we never submitted nothing. I just always was like sending him videos of like, what do you think about this? He's like, oh, okay, that's good. Maybe change this or whatever. And he would let me know like, I don't think they fuck with that, but change this up. And then Zach hit me up one day and was like, you got a chance to do it. Do you want to do it? I was like, hell yeah. And he was like, well, get a tape together. And man, I already had one.
Right.
So I was like, give him this.
Right.
And it was cool, but it was very like, I don't know, bro. That stuff is an adrenaline rush. Whenever I was on that show, and whenever I was like on like I've done like a couple acting gigs, it feels like a couple people come to prep you, and it's like, hey, come, I'm gonna make a boom boom. Hey, you need anything? I'm food or whatever. Boom boom. All right, cool. And they're like, hey, you need to come see the set. It's like, all right, go back to the room. And they're like, hey, Jimmy's going to come say what's up real quick. It was like, boom. I was like, all right, you ready? 5 minutes. You ready? You ready? 5 minutes. Like, and it's like, make sure you deliver. Stand right here. Look at that camera. Don't do this. Don't do that. And it's like, it feels like a roller coaster as you start to get to the and then when it drops, it's like, just make sure you hit your cues. Remember your jokes. Remember your lines, whatever it may be. And like, and then afterwards, we walked off the stage. The audience lets out. Me and Jimmy walk out first, and Jimmy's like, "Hey," he's like, "That was a good set." He's like, "Hey, it was incredible, right? Like, this is crazy, right? Like, this is all crazy." And I'm like, "Yeah." Like, and I was about to respond, and he goes through like the secret door.
What?
Yeah, so the audience doesn't like catch him coming out. They'll probably never leave him alone, you know.
Right.
And then they bring me to another door, and they're like, "All right, yeah, thanks for doing the show." Like, fine, smack you on the butt, and you walk out.
On a butt smack?
Yeah. Not really. Don't sue me, NBC. But you know what I mean.
Did it move the needle?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think I gained a lot of new fans from that.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because I've always paid a lot of attention to my Instagram and like YouTube and TikTok.
Uh-huh.
And so I can see, I always pay attention to when I have like a spike in followers. And I definitely had a spike after that. It's one of like the most viewed YouTube on the Tonight Show YouTube channel. It's one of their most viewed stand-up videos.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire. If you had to guess how many followers you got from doing it, how many would you say?
I don't know. Maybe somewhere near like 20,000.
That's the real deal.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
This is dope. Are you gonna do it next?
Yeah, I want to do it. That's the plan.
You should do it.
I mean, my special's coming out, so I feel like I've been stacking potential like spots and podcasts, things like that, so that as soon as I have a date that they're gonna air it, then I want to go hit them all, so I have something to talk about and push. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to kind of keep it in my pocket and then go do it.
Hire me as your publicist.
That part.
I'm good. I know people. I connect you with people.
Yeah.
I'll be like, hey, put them on your podcast. Fire Zach, first of all.
You want me to fire both of our manager?
Yeah.
I think that you should hire me as your publicist.
Okay.
I got the same thing, but a different world.
Okay.
Right? Or here's a better idea.
We publish for publish.
We just be friends and we do what friends do, make each other better.
I don't like that one.
You want some money for it?
Yeah.
So you can just go lose it?
What do they call it? Pro bono?
No.
Publicize each other.
Yeah.
I publicize you. You publicize me. Back off.
Even. I got you. I'm going to pay a bill right quick. Listen, you guys, you got to check out the Roses. It's my new clothing line. It's size inclusivity. It's for the big guys that want to look fly. This is where style blossoms and you can get your shine on. Literally. Rhinestone hoodies, rhinestone shirts, jeans, cut and sew, hats. All the way from the top to the bottom, everything but shoes. Get your Roses on. RosesCollection.com.
Everybody get your rolls on.
Everybody get your rolls on. I like that. That shifts me to the next question, man, because that's wordplay. So speaking of wordplay, before we start the show, and maybe we have a snippet of it, but I said Ralph should name his car company Barbosa, since he's Ralph Barbosa. Why do you like cars so much?
I don't know. I feel like cars were always around me. When my first like real love for cars, one of my best friends growing up, his name was Mark Posada.
Shout out Mark.
Yeah, his uncle was like into street racing, and his uncle had his own little crew, and I never really got to see a lot of what they had, but Mark would tell me that they all had like Nissans or Datsuns, and he kind of introduced me to these cars when I was like 8 years old, 9 years old, and I just started liking those. And then my dad, around that same age, my dad opened up a body shop in Oak Cliff. And so I lived with my grandma and my mom. And whenever my grandma would be out of town and my mom would have to work, my mom would just go and drop me off at my dad's body shop.
Nice.
So like my dad and his workers would just kind of like working while I just stand there.
So that's not necessarily, I would say weird, but that's different arrangement. So were your parents split up?
Yeah, my parents were split up.
Okay. What was that like?
It was cool, I guess. I mean, they argued a lot, so I didn't want them in the same room. But yeah, I always, my grandma and my grandpa were always like the main ones who like, I guess, had custody of me.
Right.
It wasn't a legal like agreement or nothing like that.
Right.
It was just, they left me there. And but I always would spend time with like my mom or my dad. To be fair, they would try to spend time pretty often, but I was the one that wouldn't really.
You're like, I'm chilling.
Yeah, in my mind, I was kind of like a little. Once I got to a certain age, I was just used to my grandma, my grandpa, and so I just didn't like that. I would have to sacrifice time with my friends, like on my weekends or like after school, to go with them. When it's like, nah, like y'all should have just lived with me.
Right.
Like, I'll see y'all later. I'm gonna go when I got time off. I want to be with my boys.
Right.
So yeah.
I have a theory where like a lot of comics for some reason have like older parents. Like if we have like you're younger, right? When you look around the clubs and see who else gigging, you're younger. Not like, but ton of us got older. Like my parents are older. Your parents are older. DC Young Fly's parents are older.
Way older, right? Yeah.
Crazy older. There's several more. Like Clayton Thomas's parents are much older. BT's parents are older. Like I think that's what gives us the insight to look at the world and see what's funny about it at an early age, because the older people are already looking at the next generation like they are fucking up.
Yeah.
So then here we come getting raised by this old person like, you guys are fucking up. Like it gave us the perspective to tell somebody older than us that's not right. It used to be a way.
Yeah. Plus my parents had me as teenagers, so my grandma and my grandpa were always telling me everything that they're doing wrong.
Your parent the whole time?
Yeah.
Like, your dad shouldn't have did that. Your mom shouldn't have did that?
Yeah. So like my first lessons in life were always just like life lessons about like, look where these kids are messing up. Like you don't do that in a few years,
So you they taught you how to do right by showing what your parents was doing wrong?
Yeah. Something like that, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so from your dad, who obviously you were a little distant from, but still close with, you picked up cars.
Yeah, my dad had a body shop in Oak Cliff, and they would do a lot of, what do you call it, like commercial body work, like whatever. But they would also do a lot of custom jobs.
Nice.
And in Oak Cliff, I feel like Oak Cliff is very much known for their like
hood
automotive stuff, but also like automotive.
I didn't know shit about Oak Cliff, about no cars.
There's a lot of shops, also a lot of barbershops. It is ghetto.
So you're going from Mesquite to Oak Cliff every day. Was there a part of your life where you were like safe? What part is that?
I guess not really.
Right. So
even when I was sitting
you're funny. Is defense mechanism funny?
Yeah, for sure.
You make everybody laugh to keep them off your ass.
Yeah,
because you're from some tough motherfucking spots.
I would say so. I think where I lived in Mesquite, it was pretty safe, but like down the street, it was already like considered East Dallas, and right there was pretty hood. So when I went to middle school, it started getting like semi hood.
Yeah.
But I would hang out with like half the people I hang out with were like my buddy Jaime over here, who were like not a threat to nobody.
What up, Jaime?
But the other half of the people were like,
you say he's from Pakistan.
Well, yeah, and I think I became really good at diffusing situations.
Yeah.
Where like people would want to act up and stuff,
but if some shit was to escalate, you're not just gonna be spooked in a corner.
Yeah, no.
You're from the hood.
I've been in a few fights.
Yeah, your knuckles are all chipped up now.
I'm from the hood.
Or is that from fixing cars?
Nah, I think the hood in me is like the part of me that like when I do get in fights, I never tell people to square up.
You fight first?
Yeah, because
you hit them while they're pulling their pants up?
Yeah, because I was always smaller than everybody.
Yeah,
so my thing was like I didn't take in too many ass whoopings till like I learned my lesson.
Right.
Like if they
get ahead of this.
Yeah. Let me get the jump on them.
I haven't had a single fight where the other person didn't try to get it popping first.
You haven't had a single fight
bigger.
Where you, oh.
The little guy's always swinging on me first.
Yeah,
like, motherfucker, you motherfucker. Zach's like that too. You know, Zach, he's here. Our manager's off camera. He's a hockey boy, man. He's used to just skating up and you are on camera. He's used to skating up and pulling his gloves off. Did you know that? You know this motherfucker fights his ass off?
Yeah, he told me.
Yeah, right.
He was about to fight a dude at the casino last night.
Were you?
Yeah, some drunk dude.
Shut the fuck up.
Guy would not leave Ralph alone.
Like, man, we were in this bar. Where the fuck? We were in we were just in where that drunk cop was. Where was that?
A drunk cop?
No.
Lake Tahoe?
Lake Tahoe. Yeah, so we go to Lake Tahoe, and then after it's like, yo, let's go get something to eat. And so it's me, Zach, and my boy Ken Twitty from SAC. Shout out to Twitty. And there's this dude who I already, during my show, dude walked down to the front, like put his beer on the stage and was like, fucking yeah. And then went back. I was like, man, what the fuck? Big ass white boy, right? So we go do whatever, doing all the pictures, all the meet and greet and all that. And then this is probably 2.5 hours later. I'm like, I'm hungry. So we leave the casino and walk out. This is Lake Tahoe. So if anybody's been there, I don't know the name of the place, but they had some bomb ass burgers that the first time I ever seen it, they had a barbie. The way they were cooking their burgers, the flat top was in the shape of a circle and they were just spinning. Okay, so that place. And we go in and sit down and the dude is at the bar. I see him right away because he's the only white boy in Tahoe with this big ass cowboy hat on. I'm like, fuck. Everybody knows it's him. People from the show or at other tables are like, fucking that's the guy. So at some point in his inebriatedness, he turns around and looks and he decides he wants to keep on coming over and befriending me. Like we're literally talking. And Zach's like, you know, come on, man. We're right in the middle of the thing, man. You know?
Classic Zach line.
Yeah. And then he's showing pictures of his phone and he's like, and I had on a Raiders jersey. And he's like, oh yeah, fucking Oakland. I know about Oakland. Let me show you about Oakland. Let me show you about Oakland. I was like, what? He was like, let me show you about Oakland real quick. And but right before I'm about to react, the first picture is him probably 20 years ago and he's a police officer.
Oh, shit.
Like full on roller. And I'm like, So Twitty's like, bro, we're talking, bro. Like, I mean, at no point was I concerned that he would whoop any of us, but Zach was right there. Like, he just like put his little nuts out on the table and was like, hey, man, we're fucking talking. Deep voice on him.
Bro.
You know he got a deep voice on him?
Zach?
Yeah.
I heard it last night. I just heard him say he was just like, dude, if you don't back the fuck off.
He said, fuck?
That's how I know he's getting mad.
Did the guy hear him? The guy received it, huh?
Yeah.
He backed
that
the fuck off,
guy
Zach?
started saying, I'm sorry. That dude was like real drunk. He was crowding us. We were at the roulette tables, like me, Rini, Zach, a couple of Rini's people, and then he had a $100 bill, and I could see it right here in my peripheral where he kept being like, hey, come on, Ralph, like use this, bro. That's on me. You play it, bro. You play it, you know. Renee, you take it. Yeah, he's like, Renee, you take it, man. Take it, right? At one point, I just grabbed it. I just put it in my pocket. I just ignored the fuck out of it.
Right.
That was it. And then Zach, 20 minutes. Bro, I don't understand how that dude didn't get kicked out the casino, though, because he was like, Yeah, they took bro. They were really leaning at that casino. That dude was like drunk off his ass.
They were letting it happen.
Yeah, like, but I like, bro. He was
Was he
acting
white?
a fool in there. Nah, he was a Mexican.
Where were you?
Where were we at Spokane?
Oh yeah, you
But
were at Airway Heights.
I think they were just kind of also
Northern
taking
Quest
advantage.
Casino. Yeah, I went to undergrad out there at Eastern Washington University, so we used to go to Northern Quest to kick it.
Man, you're from up here in the Pacific Northwest?
Yeah,
Man, that's crazy.
yeah, it is.
It's
But
nice out here.
it's cool, but it's like segregated.
Yeah?
Yeah, like Mexicans.
They
fuck
don't
with
let black
Mexicans,
people
black
in
people
the-
fuck with black people, white people fuck. No, we all
They
fuck
don't let
with
black
each
people
other.
in the mountains.
You can. There's probably like 5 black houses in the mountains, and then the next block over is all white. Like it's segregated in that sense, right? Or here's a better way to put it: like the communities will have representation of everybody in, let's say, in one cul-de-sac. There's a Samoan family, white family, black family, Asian family, Indian family. They're all in the same cul-de-sac, but they aren't all out in the middle of the street kicking it together until maybe 4th of July, if they celebrate that, right? Otherwise, it's like you just see a bunch of cars in the cul-de-sac and people are coming to kick it at the Indians' house. It's all Indians over there. You hear the music, it's all Indian, and you don't feel welcome. And then the white people, you hear, fucking damn. All right, the whites are kicking it. And then the black people kicking it, you know what I'm saying? But it's not like this one big old mixed up thing.
Yeah.
So we're segregated in our social life, but we physically can't be because there's no redlining here.
I feel like that's kind of everywhere though. There's like some form of segregation in every part of the states. Maybe not like L.A., New York. They're a little more, But I don't think Dallas is big enough to where we're like that mixed up. Like
No,
even
Dallas is crazy segregated, but there's hella Mexicans that didn't give a fuck about that part.
yeah.
Does that make sense?
I think
like if you could look at Dallas on the map and go, okay, no Mexicans, you would see, okay, white people are here, black people are here, and there's a clear distance between where they are. Then put the Mexicans back in, and you'll see it's black, white, brown, black, white, brown, black, white, brown, all over, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Because you got like you can tell us where the fuck to go. We go where the fuck we want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I like about. I like that about your culture. Like I wish, in a certain extent, I wish there's certain aspects of what the brown people are doing that I'm like, God damn it, why aren't black people doing that?
Well, I think we're just very getting where you fit in culture, but like literally, like
yeah. But you guys, you go where you're getting where you fit in / go where you're wanted / we're here now. Fuck you.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of that. Like
we go where the work is, and where
right?
The cheap housing.
This is the thing I think it is. I think that this could be deep, but I think that because you choose to come here, that it's like, all right, we're gonna make our own wherever. Like we're gonna set up and make our own shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like the African diaspora denied us that. We just got put where we got put and then freed. And it was like, well, shit, where we gonna go? Then everywhere we're successful, they burn it down or drowned it or flooded it. So it's like, well, goddamn.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say this. I wanted to ask this, and then I'll segue back into one that's kind of deep. But I'm curious. How does smoking with Dave Chappelle happen?
He showed up and sparked up a joint. I was like,
but is there more to it than just chance?
Yeah. So he right around the whole George Lopez thing, when that whole thing happened, that he brought me up on his podcast, and then people were like,
was it he was hating, right? Or he was like, you don't like the new guys, and then wasn't like Richard Villa going to bat for you or something like that?
What's his name? Steve Trevino was like,
yeah.
Hey, we got to look out for the Ralph Barbosas or whatever. And George was like, he said,
fuck all that. Yeah, George don't play that shit.
Which I didn't even like care. Like I didn't mind. Like, man, he's a veteran comedian. Say whatever you want. Like, but that whole thing, blew up, and everybody was talking about it and whatever. And like a week after that happened, maybe. When that happened, a couple comedians invited me on their podcast to talk about it, and I did like Andrew Scholl's podcast and Chris Stefano, and then like a few days after that, I went to LA for some shows, and the first night of the shows, Dave Chappelle just walks in the green room at the Hollywood Improv, and he was just telling me that he had been wanting to meet me. He said that he sees like my stuff on YouTube, like my clips and whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I didn't even think you watched YouTube or like had a YouTube like I don't know. I just imagine him just reading all day or something.
Right.
And
reading clouds and shit, like some mystical comedy god monster thing.
But he said that, you know, he'd seen my stuff, but that he really wanted to meet me after seeing me on Andrew Schultz's podcast, because he said he liked a lot of the stuff that I said, and that he wanted to come check out my set. And yeah, he watched my set for a little bit, and then because at the Hollywood Improv, you know, they got the 2 rooms, the main room,
Yeah,
and
the lab and then the showroom.
I told him he could, you know, jump on my show, obviously, like before me, after me, whatever he wants
you
to
want,
do.
brother.
Take over the show, whatever. But he was like, no, it's okay. He's like, I'll probably hop in on the lab. And yeah, it was cool when I got off stage. So he sparked up a joint in the green room, and he was passing it to whoever. I didn't really want to smoke because I wanted to make sure I did well. Like,
Right. I can't perform high.
yeah, like I don't know. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. But I was like, I'm not gonna risk it in front of Chappelle. Like,
Right.
so then when I got off stage after my first show, the manager of the club was like, hey, Chappelle's asking for you, like in the lab, like go over there. And then I got on stage with him in there, and I smoked a cigarette with him and had a beer, and we like talked to the crowd and stuff, and did that until it was time for my second show. It was cool. He was cool as hell.
That's dope.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. While that's dope, it's also needle moving, right? Because now you got the post, you got the ability to be like, motherfucker,
I got a picture where
I'm marked, baby.
I got black and white pictures of us 2 on stage.
That's
like
what I
the
saw.
beers.
So that's what I saw on Instagram.
And then I got the one picture where he's using his cigarette to light my cigarette, so it feels like a very passing of the torch, like passing of the cigarette moment.
Yes,
and it felt pretty cool. Like, not that he passed me the torch. I don't think I'm that good at this, but
I think he did pass you the torch. Now, my next card.
Okay, next card.
So I say,
passing the torch.
Here's why, and it brings a lot of this to full circle. That I want to say this, right? So, the prerequisite for this is that somebody listen to it and not think that and not think that I'm trying to have a separation of 2 cultures.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to illustrate the separation of the 2 cultures in order to even say it. It feels to me like the black vets don't pass the torch to younger black comics. Right? And I felt like that forever. And I didn't say black comics. I used to just say they don't pass the torch to no comics, right? Because for the life of, I've been doing this 24 years. I never seen an OG outside of white people put on, not just, oh, I have a show and I'm booking 12 people and I'm going to put you on my show. I mean, like actually being like on screen with them, shooting the thing, right? Like Kevin Hart is the one that's the most apt to do it. And he'll get with social media people and put them on all that. But when have you seen him on camera with a younger comic? And it's like, not for a TV show, but it's just literally just to say, hey, y'all, fuck with him, right? You don't. And then that happened for you. And I was like, this is fucking lit. Because it changes the paradigm. It's like, all right, OGs will come back and kick it and pass the torch to a younger comic. Now that just had to shift the statement from being like they don't pass the torch to younger comics to be like, man, well, maybe they just aren't doing it to comics that they consider in their own lane or also black or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I watched Trevino go to bat for you, right? Like them older Mexican dudes was like,
you know, I never liked that Trevino did that though.
Yeah, because you want to speak for yourself, but you got to understand.
Not only that, it's just that I think, and I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like I am, you know, I'm a younger comic.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you didn't know. I didn't know you didn't like that Trevino did that.
I didn't like it, and I might be speaking out of like a bad place or whatever. Like, but what I didn't like about it is that I feel like every Hispanic comedian hears the stories about George Lopez, either when it's in our open mic days or when we're already like on the up and up. But we always hear the stories that Lopez isn't a big supporter of other Latino comedians. We've heard different stories. So, like, I feel like most Latino comedians know that, like, yeah, no, he doesn't necessarily look out. And if he does, he probably doesn't want credit for it. He's not like, hey, everybody, look what I did. So for Trevino to be like bringing that up on that podcast was already kind of like he obviously knows what Lopez is gonna say.
Yeah, he's doing that to ruffle feathers.
I think so, or to just be like, hey, like I help out, not you, George, but like that's how I took it after a while.
But sometimes the way somebody moves and don't nobody say nothing.
At that time,
you may want to say something so bad that on the podcast you're like, man, I'm asking him today, bro. Like,
I guess that too.
That may have been. I don't know, but that may
I
have
felt like
been
it was more
Trevino's.
about them two than it was about me.
It had to be because
there's this kid blowing up right now. This Ralph Barbosa, kid's blowing up, and I'm like, I'm praying for him.
Who is that?
Because I'm like, this kid needs a pass. I want this kid to get the pass. Kid's blowing up, George. Huge, and I'm very proud of him. But Gil, I don't hate on him. I want that kid to have it easy.
I'm going to tell you this.
Because we fucking had it hard. You harder than me.
You said that kid is blowing up. I don't know who he is. But where's he from?
He's from Dallas, Texas. Young kid, very, very young. Just did the Tonight Show. Did one of those Latino HBO specials. The kid's selling out everywhere he goes now. And I think to myself...
Well, where's he going, though? You can't say everywhere he goes.
The kid's going to fucking Wisconsin.
Well, to comedy clubs, though?
Yeah, comedy club in Milwaukee. He's doing great.
Yeah.
And I'm rooting for him because I want one young Latino to get the pass. But it is up to us to the Ralph Barbosas of the world to turn around and go, hey man, I want to make the path for you easy.
But nobody knows who that motherfucker is. What are you saying his name, man?
Look, I think he's great, and I'm doing
is that
it
wrong to say, Aaron?
I'm doing exactly what I'm preaching. Is
what do you mean you don't
can
know
we
him?
bring this kid up? Right?
Have you heard of him? Okay. Is it wrong for me to say why do you keep bringing his name up and nobody knows who he is?
It's funny to me.
And I don't mean it mean. I'm saying
the man on the payroll.
no,
hey, whatever you say.
I mean,
George.
but you look out for yourself. That's what we look out for yourself.
But I also want to look out for others.
I just didn't like that he brought me up like that because I feel like when I started open micing, I used to go to Backdoor Comedy Club, which was at that time located in the lobby of a Hilton Doubletree Hotel in Dallas, right? There would be like a lot of this was like predominantly white audiences at that open mic or their showcases. And I feel like sometimes white people or even Mexican people would be like, "You're gonna be the next George Lopez?" And I was like, "Nah, man, like I don't even want to do."
You're gonna be the next Ralph.
Yeah, like you know what I mean? So I feel like I worked very hard to have my own style, to not be what like a lot of Hispanic comedians before me already were. Not saying that was wrong, but like it's like, hey, like I don't want to just redo what they were doing. Like I want to be different. And then Steve Trevino brings me up on this.
You don't want to be boxed in.
Yeah, and then Steve Trevino brings me up on this podcast, and for the next year and a half, I can't go into any room without people comparing me to Lopez, like all because he kept bringing me up on the damn podcast.
Yeah, but you got to understand what Lopez did, and then just.
But what he did
through deference, humility, and respect and appreciation, it is what it is. You got a year and a half of motherfuckers comparing you to a legend straight up. DC Young Fly got 5 years straight of people comparing him to a legend straight up. It is a much harder pathway into people's hearts, minds, and souls to be a brand new type of thing than it is to be something they're already familiar with. But it's the reason why logos look like other logos. And
I was like fine where I was at. When that happened, I was already selling out shows. Zach can attest to that. I was already had like a year booked up with shows.
You were already Texas' funniest comic in 2019.
2019 had about 200,000 followers, give or take. I don't know. And I will say that thing did give me way more followers.
Listen,
but I was
man,
just like,
you were
damn.
successful, Ralph, but
all I'm saying is
you were not as successful as George Lopez at the time.
For sure. And I still don't think I am that. And
You're
I still
not,
see
but
the
I don't
dude-
want to have to say that directly to you.
No, I don't
George
mind
is
it.
a literal legend.
Bro, he's
has
a legend.
Exactly.
And
so
I
if
always-
anyone's going to say, in the same breath, my name or yours with a legend, I take it. I also fight a motherfucking person too, but I just want you to like just get everybody familiar. It's why songs sound like other songs.
I didn't say much when that whole thing happened because I always respected his place as a veteran comedian.
Yes, yes.
And I talked about this before where I said I was never like the biggest George Lopez fan. I wasn't like, oh yeah, I grew up on his stand-up. Like,
Right.
But as a comedian, I respect anybody who like does well in comedy, and like he's a veteran comedian. Like that's why I was like, bro, he could say whatever he wants. Like I don't give a damn.
And
That's his podcast.
That's exactly what you're supposed to do, right? That's like I'm a member of a mega sci-fi fraternity, and when the pro fights are talking about the neos should shut the fuck up because somebody's gonna be going to bat for you, and somebody's gonna be going to bat against you, and let them fight it out. Because what happens to your future lies in who wins that argument or that fight. It's not for you to say you out of place the whole time. George makes a lot of what I'm doing possible. George makes a lot of what you're doing possible. And we don't know the ways that it does, but we know that he already fought through those no's and got the yeses. I know for a fact he's helped me establish my merchandise game. George came and did my club right when I first opened it. And I was struggling to book no-name acts. And DL came, and then he went golfing, and George was golfing, and George was like, I'll go. And he fucking showed up at a 280-seater and rocked my shit.
I've heard stories of Lopez helping out friends of mine. I just don't think he's the type to be like, hey, look at me, I'm helping.
No, you're exactly right.
You know what I mean?
You're definitely right. He's not the type to be. As a matter of fact, if he help you and you talk about it, he probably gonna help you again.
Yeah.
You know
also,
what I'm saying?
like, yeah. But that's why I didn't like when like Trevino brought me up on that thing, because I just feel like he was like, hey, look at me, everybody, like I'll be helping. And it's like, I've never even met that man in my life.
You never met Trevino?
No.
Well, goddamn, he was doing a lot of bumping for you to not have met him.
That's what was pissing me off, though. I was like, even I was watching the thing, like, because Lopez says in the podcast, why you keep saying the name? Even I was like, why you keep saying my name? But But anyway.
I think he says your name because he has the vantage point of seeing what's going on and what's next. You said yourself you were selling out shows at that point already.
Yeah.
Was Steve Trevino selling out shows at that point already?
Yeah. The dude's
who had more heat at the time?
Trevino.
Got it. But he can see you coming.
Maybe.
And how old is Steve Trevino?
I don't know.
Older than your dad?
Yeah, 60. I don't know.
Okay, so when you see, and you're young, so when you see a young, you got to understand, Ralph, I've been doing this long enough to know, motherfuckers do not pop. People do not pop. It is an industry of everybody just staying complacent, staying at the same level, and just trying to figure it out. Nobody knows they're clawing and reaching and grabbing, and they're miking forever, or then they're featuring forever, then they're headlining forever, but nobody pops or where they're selling out. You came on and something hit. Yes, you're talented. Yeah, you're an attractive guy. I'm not saying I'd fuck.
Thank you, Nate Jackson.
I'm just saying, it's not like you're hard to look at. It's some hard to look at motherfuckers in comedy, right? You're talented, gifted, and you come on and you hit. And then, bam, OGs are like, there's a new motherfucker, right? Just imagine, it's like the combine. So you understand sports. So you're in the NFL, you're a star, and you run a 4.5 40. You know where to be, when to be there, and all that. You go look at the combine, a motherfucker just ran a 4.3. You're like, God dang. Okay, let me go to the gym. Like the combine puts pressure on the OGs. So when you come up and you're selling out, he can feel that. Trevino's at his show, and they're like, yo, get you don't know how, they're like, get Barbosa, get Barbosa, right? And he's like, hey, man, I'm fucking Steve Trevino, man. What the fuck you guys talking about, bro? So you're on his mind way before he's on yours. So then he goes on a podcast, and he speaks from the vantage point of what he's been thinking about. And then George is like, man, come on, what the fuck, man? Right? I'm the legend. Let's keep it on the legend shit. Basically, he's not wrong for that, but you had people around the table, OGs, and one half was like, fuck the new school, and the other half was like, nah, support them and love them. What I'm telling you is I have not seen the table yet full of black vets where anybody at the table is like, nah, support them. Right? Now, it changed my paradigm of my thought process on it because I said they don't support no younger acts, but then I watched Chappelle literally pass you a burning torch on stage. And I was like, well, fucking yeah, I guess they do. And I'm like, I wonder when my own kind will come and pass me a goddamn torch. Because guess what I've been doing? What you were doing when you hit Trevino's radars.
What are you doing?
Selling out.
Nice.
Making noise, right? They can feel me. They know I'm here. It's in. You can't act like you don't see me. I just got a follow on Instagram the other day from Damon Wayans Sr. And he does not fuck around with what he finds funny. You got to be funny or he ain't fucking with you. So culturally, right, to bring it full circle to the actual question, it's like, why do you think that is? Like, what is that?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I do want to say thank you to anybody who has seen anything in me, even Steve Trevino, George Lopez, Dave Chappelle, whoever,
Right.
other comedians as well, you know. But I don't know. I couldn't tell you. And I guess I'll be looking out for it more. Now I'm going to keep taking notes. I'm going to go and I'm going to dig through every black comedian's Instagram that I follow, and I'm going to see every time they post a young black comic. And
You have gray hair all over the back of your head before you see that.
I'll comment on there and be like, where's the black people?
No, just send it to me like, found one. You know what I'm saying? So, but you have to understand, like, there was a time in comedy where everybody was dog eat dog.
Yeah.
Literally, a headliner would fuck your green room up before your show so that you wouldn't have a good show. Like, they were not fucking around. And so the Bay Area Black is the longest running comedy competition in Oakland or whatever. It was 29, 30 years or something like that. Anyone can do it. It's just called the Bay Area Black. Tony Spires does that. Shout out to Tony Spires. And I learned a lot of history before when I was doing comedy from him talking about how it was, right? Like, the promoters were dog eat dog. Goodness. That I'm burping. Like, I'll tell you a story. In the Bay, there's Bay Area Promotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were the biggest promoters. And if another promoter came in, let's say they were promoting your show, but they didn't check in with Bay Area Promotions, Bay Area Promotions would throw a free show with 5 acts that are your direct competition in the park across the street.
Damn.
Free. Like, motherfucker, we say you can't come in here. This is the Bay Area Promotion. Like, this is how dog eat dog it was. So that goes from the promoters to the managers then acting like that, to the comics then acting like that. And this is why when you watch old footage of, like, say the Emmett Smith roast where Jamie Foxx is literally destroying Doug's career, where he's like, I am your conscience speaking. You know what I'm talking about?
No, but I'm learning about it as I'm listening to you.
Imagine, you've seen roasts.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're on a roast. There's a podium. Everybody's going to the podium. Somebody's on stage. Doug Williams is having he's not having the best roast set, but Jamie Foxx has a mic and he's in the seats. And he's like, I'm bombing right now. I am your conscience. I'm bombing right now. And he's like, oh, man, come on, man. You already got all the money, man. You famous, man. Let me get my little jokes off. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, everybody's wondering why I'm even here. Emmett Smith doesn't even know who in the fuck I am. It's like 9 minutes back and where he just,
bro,
he tears him down.
That's mean, but also I respect Jamie Foxx for that, because sometimes you ever have that moment where you just see the funny route. You're like a running back, and you just see the route, and you're like, how am I not gonna take it? Like, how, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You ever seen a running back at the end of the game where it's a clear path to the end zone, but then they make a point not to score because it benefits the team?
Yeah.
That's what Jamie should have did. Or at least say the joke, hit it once, and then pull up so you get the moment. Because there's a distinct difference between this is killing right now and then this is killing this whole other person's fucking career. And he crossed over. I'll show it to you, and you're going to be like, God damn. Like, he was on his head in a public forum so badly, he still to this day has not bounced back from it.
In that moment, Jamie Foxx was a comedian before anything, before being black, before being a man, anything like you.
No.
No?
Fuck no. And then as much as I appreciate being a comic and a comedian and be like, comedians first, and no, fuck that.
Nah, not that I stand for that. I'm just saying,
all black people on an all black roasting one of the greatest running backs in the history of Dallas Cowboy football, or really all football.
All football.
It was that forum that he went that hard. Now, at the end of the day, it's like Doug should have had something for him. I don't give a fuck. If that's happening to me, I'm gonna go over and rub his hairline off. Like, now, where we at now, bitch? You know what I'm saying? But I cook different. Some comics will some comics are okay with being slapped on national television. Other comics are gonna grab you and fight.
Yeah.
Now, but there was another time, if you go back and look at Foxhole Radio on Sirius Satellite, where Kevin Hart was coming up. And Kevin Hart went on the show to like be a guest on the show, and the whole episode is there like Jamie was coming for him. The whole dog, it's like 3 hours of.
But Kevin fired back.
Yeah, Kevin was roasting and saying like he was hanging in there and all that, but it was Kevin by himself, maybe Naeem, Len, and Harry, and the regular Foxhole Radio squad of like 13, 14 people sitting around in a room. It was in a conference room. There's like 2 people per each mic. It's crowded. people are, you're on a mic, you got something to say, you get off. It like in between breaks. And Kevin goes in there and he holds his own. But like literally, it's Jamie, like that same kind of thing. Like, you're a threat, let me tear you down. But it's on a national forum, right? It's not just we're in the backyard fucking around. Like, it's on satellite radio. And the episode is still there. I can show you that too. But instead of him being like, Kevin Hart is on the come up, look at this young brother doing his thing, fucking here's a torch. It's like rip, tear, shred, smash, right?
Why do you think that is though?
Niggas. There you go.
I was about to say something, but I didn't want to sound stupid. I was gonna be like, I kind of learned about this on an episode of the Boondocks.
Yeah,
I learned about this, but I don't think
crabs in a bucket or something.
I haven't seen this in like the Hispanic
Harold and
community
Kumar,
like
the movies Harold and Kumar.
Yeah, which one? The White Castle one or the?
All of them.
Okay,
Doesn't matter. So those two actors, I saw them do a podcast, and they said, we're doing our job. Our job in Hollywood is to fight like hell to get inside the door, and then once we're in the door, is to hold our foot against that motherfucker. And that changed my perspective on the entire thing. I was like, well, I'm gonna do my own shit then. I'll build a whole nother door, a whole nother building. I'll already be inside. While you got your foot on that door, I'll already be doing my own thing, bigger, better, whatever. Anyway, so to bring that full circle, Kevin Hart ends up buying Foxhole Radio out, and that's what Laugh Out Loud Radio is. On Sirius Satellite Radio.
Yeah.
That is the exact same station. They didn't even change the comedy that was playing. I still get the same sound exchange money.
Yeah.
Right? So that's if that's the temperament of the black veterans, think about it. Name a top 5 black act. Anyone you can think of.
Chris Rock.
Okay. Who has Chris Rock put his arm around and been like, this person is next? Chris Rock has 2 brothers that do comedy right now.
I don't know.
No, I'm just
What
saying.
if he has something, but we just haven't seen it?
I would love to find out.
Well, how do you feel about black audiences? Do you feel like they're really supportive?
Yeah, they are if they fuck with you.
Yeah. I feel like Hispanic audience are really supportive, but they're also like
there's nobody as supportive as a Mexican audience.
But they're also very like they'll be harsh on you if they don't even feel like you're Mexican enough.
Yeah,
like a lot of
I've seen people be like, "Oh, I'm not brown enough, and I'm not light enough." Like,
does that happen with black audiences? Like, you're not black enough?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. Ask Trenton. Trenton is from Colorado Springs, and he talks not like us, right? And
you don't talk like us, Trenton.
He's trying to sit like a now, but that's not Trenton.
Well, I actually wanted to ask Ralph that too, because I'm learning. You know, I've been doing comedy for 4 years, but I used to care about like what the black audience would think. Like, oh, I should say bitch more or throw a N-word in there once or twice. But now I'm learning to not give a fuck. But because I feel like in the black community, there's rules. You know, you can't do this. You can't date white girls. Yada yada yada. But does Mexicans, do Hispanics? Do you feel like that? Is there rules that you like? Oh, I got to make sure I don't do this.
It depends in like what part of the country I'm at, because I have jokes where I poke fun at like people who like Mexicans here illegally.
Yeah, you said you're like, yeah, I called the hotline.
Yeah, but like I'm saying it in my mind, I'm saying it with love, because like I don't care what people's politics are. I've always told people like I don't promote my politics, and I don't have very serious opinions. I feel like I'm still forming those as I get older. You know what I mean? But like personally, I am always gonna feel like I'm always gonna be pro-immigrant, because like that's how we all got here. That's how I was able to be born in this country. So like, how could I be like, stop letting them in? Like, bro, like, you know what I mean? So my thing is I always do it with love. Like, yo, like I'm pro-immigrant, but like, hey, like as a joke, like I say this or that. And in some parts of the country, they all laugh with me. They get it. It's like laughing with your family. In some parts, they'll come up to me after shows like, you shouldn't joke about raza like that and put us down. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm not trying to put you down, bro. Like,
I remember I was gigging in Southern California. Well, I'll say a couple of things. First, to address what you were saying, because I wanted him to tackle that. But the rules for black audiences there are rules, but we will cross all those rules off if you are genuinely authentic and we can see it.
yeah, if you're being yourself.
We will accept a flamboyantly gay person, and that's not normal black culture. We will accept a trans person, right? And rocking, killing, be authentic to who you are. Flame Monroe, great example of that, right? Just be authentic. We'll accept a white dude. be authentic though.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the thing. And that's anywhere, not just in comedy. You can go to any HBCU and you'll see like the cool white kid sitting with the black kid. You're like, oh, it's because he is who he is and there is no layers of bullshit on it. And we can see that right away. In Miami, the Cubans are like that, right? Like once they get here, they're like, nah, no more. Right?
Yeah.
That's one. Two, I was gigging when I was younger. I did, Liam's Irish Pub in Rialto, California. Shout out to Rick Rome. He threw this show, and it'd be Tuesday nights, open mic. There was a guy that got on stage. I still don't know who he was, but he was a younger Mexican guy. George was there, not Lopez, but the other George, Mexican guy. What's George? He's passed at the store. Yeah, George Perez was there, and this guy gets on stage and he's got Mexican jokes, some like making fun of abuelas and stuff like that, right? He gets off. I watched 3 big ass Mexicans fuck him up outside.
Oh shit.
La raza, like it was there, and that's a thing. That's a thing you don't see. That's one of the things I was gonna say at the beginning that I made a point to say. There's some stuff that you guys do in the brown community that the black community doesn't. That I'm like, God damn it, the Mexicans are not fucking around with you making fun of their culture.
It just
If there's no respect there, we'll beat your ass. La raza, fool. There's not a word for niggas that translates to La Raza.
There
isn't. We're not like, oh, blackness, fool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't exist. But you guys are such a proud, beautiful, wonderful people that a motherfucker making fun of Mexicans, he was Mexican.
I think what's tough about it,
and Mexicans whooped his ass to keep him in check.
There's no like clear rules. There's like a very much like you got to gauge it based off of that night,
response you're getting.
The way he said it that night particularly. You know what I mean? Those same people probably could have heard that joke a night before and with a different tone, a different vibe, and
also,
been laughing
you know who's
at
with them too, right? Like it might be 8 of them, and one of them they know is like, fucking, this motherfucker's illegal, and now you're saying this shit, and it's uncomfortable for them.
Yeah.
So now they gotta all act different because of that. But if that dude wasn't there, then what? But
at the same time, it's like, bro, like I think when you're doing comedy and you're making fun of your own culture, you gotta do it. Not that you have to, but like it's a little more humble and it's way funnier to do it in a self-deprecating way. It's not gonna be funny if I just go in there like, Mexicans, you know us, we're the greatest race ever. Like, ain't nobody gonna be like, ha ha ha, we are. Like, the fuck, this is a rally? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, bro, lighten up. Like, we're doing it with love. Like, if I'm making fun of my own culture, I'm doing it like if I was making fun of my sister, my brother. Like, hey, I love you, but these are our flaws, right? Like,
you said it perfectly right then. I'm doing it with love.
Yeah, it's always with love.
Right. And in the cases where they don't feel enough love or the love is devoid, you have people in your own culture that will check somebody and through knuckles line them back up to where they need to be. That guy didn't do that same set no more. He changed what he was saying. He added some love and some respect to the same jokes now to keep from getting beat the fuck up outside. We don't have that, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We don't have a, hey, motherfucker, what'd you just say? We don't have a that for black people. A lot more disrespect is allowed by blacks from blacks than what you guys culturally are okay with. And you guys will duke it the fuck out outside.
I also think Mexicans go too far sometimes with like how picky, not picky, but like what they want out of a comedian. Like like what you were saying earlier, sometimes you thought maybe if you said bitch more, you said the N-word more. Bro, I see comments under my videos where people where like Hispanics are like, he don't even speak no Spanish on stage. I'm like, the fuck? Like they're just like, bro, he sucks. He don't even speak no Spanish on stage. Like, bro, I might not be speaking Spanish the whole time on stage. Also, you never been to my show. Sometimes I do mix it up with Spanglish. But just because I'm not speaking Spanish on stage don't make me less Mexican. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's also the tough part of being like first or second generation. Like we're considered like Chicano. When you're Chicano, which is what I am, bro, you don't get full respect from people that are from Mexico, and then people that are not Mexican see you as still Mexican. But like at home, I'm not Mexican, bro. Like I'm not.
Right.
Like I'm Chicano, and a Chicano is like kind of looked down upon. It's like comedian to open micer. Like in their eyes, I'm never gonna be seen as fully like
you're stepped on.
Yeah.
That's how they act like you're stepped on.
And then they pull out like and this is not only like comedians, but like a lot of audience, you know, a lot of fans, even other people, even celebrities will be like, what have you done to put on raza? What have you done to put on for us? And it's like, bro, I feel like me doing whatever I can to make me successful or spread positivity is putting on for raza.
It is.
Because I'm wearing my skin. Like,
You
I'm
are.
wearing my jersey. Like, my skin is my jersey, bro. Like, I don't, yeah, even when people talk about Lopez, it'd be like, he didn't help. Like, bro, him being darker, him being a dark-skinned Mexican is already, like, big, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it don't matter what he's saying. He don't
He
gotta
put
say,
on.
like, yeah, it don't gotta be like, by the way, this is for my people. Like, you don't even
Right.
gotta say it. Like, it's already for the people, him being Mexican. You know what I mean?
Yes.
People just be wanting too much. People be crying and shit.
But what you're saying, I can't relate to the difference between Chicanos and Mexicans because I'm from the vantage point of like, all of those are Mexican, right? But like, we just go black, brown. We don't go brown, lighter brown, lighter brown, lighter brown, third generation brown. Like you guys do that. The same way on our culture, here's a better way to put it, right? Like, I'm not Nigerian, like straight from the motherland, right? Like I'm African American, right? I'm not mixed. I don't have any, like, or grew up in a, say, a white community where it's like, oh, there's a clear difference between those two brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is, but not if the Klan runs in.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And they don't give a fuck if you're Chicano, Mexican, if he's light black, white, black, white. Like, it's all, are you black, are you brown?
That's what I tell my cousins in Mexico all the time, too. I'm like, bro, you come to America. Because if I go to Mexico, I'm straight up called gringo. I'm white boy.
Really?
Yes. They call us gringos.
That's crazy as fuck.
But I'm like, bro,
That's a gringo.
come to America. They're not going to consider me a gringo, bro. I'm like, come on.
What am I? Just mayate the whole time?
The
Negrito?
whole time, yeah.
God damn.
It brings me a little comfort to know that other races do that to each other. Because, you know, like if
thought
I'm
it was
around,
just us?
I thought it was just us. Like if I'm around a lot of black people, I don't like to say too much because then I'll get sniffed out. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You know what we
Are
do,
there
though?
songs about it? Are there Mexican songs about this?
Maybe.
Because there's multi-platinum songs about like this in the black community.
Yeah?
Yeah,
There
like
might be. I just maybe haven't heard
you
them.
have. Jay-Z just came up with his last album. He was like, still nigga.
Oh, no, I mean, like, I haven't heard, like, our versions of it. Like,
Oh yeah, I would love to know.
Still
I wouldn't
Chicano.
understand it. Right? No, still Mexican.
yeah.
Right? No matter what you do, no matter how high you climb in that country or whatever, no matter how you talk, how you speak, what you drive, still Mexican.
Still
fool.
a bean.
Yeah. I'm sure that, I mean, it's a thing, obviously, but I don't know if there's like songs that have gone multi-platinum about it. Like
Yeah,
us.
maybe not like that.
So I'm all for unity. I'm all for us all rocking together, right? So to me, let's just say get rid of all color. For this example, we say get rid of all color. We get rid of all the differences in race and religion. We just go comedians.
Mm-hmm.
An older comedian who smokes passed you a cigarette to smoke with him as a comedian. Whether you're white, black, brown, purple, didn't matter. He appreciated your comedy. He appreciated your mindset. Appreciated what you're doing. He sees you coming, and he showered you with some sort of appreciation and love from, and honestly, that's not just any OG. That's the GOAT,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't have examples, color or otherwise, where that's happening a lot. Now, if you add a color back to it, if it is happening a lot, it's the white guys. That's who I see doing all each other's podcasts, putting each other in movie, like Sandler's Crew and all of it. Like, I want that for us. Every time we talk about inclusion in the black community in movies and shit like that, it always comes back to the same two names. They're either going to say Robert Townsend or they're going to say Keenan Ivory Wayans, right? Because that's the black people who put on Wayans for his family, Townsend for all the stuff he did. And it's like, there's more, but those are the first two to be like, if we invest in us, right? Whereas, I don't know, is there that for you guys? You guys have famous, you have Robert Rodriguez, you have all kind of famous.
Pimp C tried to do this.
Who?
Pimp C.
So you just Texas. You don't give a fuck about none of that.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
Pimp C's not Mexican?
I know he's not Mexican. I'm talking about he did that for black people, though.
Yes.
Not that song, Knocking Doors Down.
Yeah, yeah.
You remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pimp C was on this, and then he died. Maybe they did kill him. That's a whole conspiracy theory.
There is.
That they killed him because he was talking this, he was spreading this. Better be careful, Nate Jackson.
I didn't spread nothing. I just questioned it.
Okay.
Because I've already reacted to it. But for me, I saw your stuff. I had a sense of pride. I think I even hit Zach and was like, that's the dopest shit ever. How the fuck does that happen? That's fucking lit for Ralph, right? And this is our first time meeting in person. But I've been watching for, I think, 3-4 years from just, through socials, whatever. And that's not even a real word. I'm just going off of what you've posted or what somebody said. So my first reaction was like, that shit is fire. Then my next reaction was like, how come I don't see that more often? Why does that feel extremely special, right? Not to say you're not special, because you are, but I feel like it should happen more often. I know if I get onto that level, I'm gonna put my arm around some little homies.
I think that I for sure have always noticed when I've always noticed that I have gotten tons of help from different ethnicities and races of comics. I've had white, Mexican, and black comedians help me out. You know what I mean? I've had Indian comedians help me, not only help me write, but talk about me in rooms that I haven't been in. Like,
nice.
I feel like, and I'm very blessed for that. And I haven't really paid too much attention until now that you've, magnified that. That I don't know if I've seen it, with black comedians helping other black comedians. I remember, and I saw this because I was also mentioned in that list. But Carlos Miller, when he was on, what's his name, Shannon Sharp's podcast, he did bring up a lot of black comedians. So there's him. But I also wouldn't be able to
shout
speak
out to
on.
Los.
Yeah, shout out to Carlos Miller, man.
Los is one of the rare ones that will give a shout out to.
He named a
people
lot of
older
people
than him, and then he'll talk about people who he finds funny right now.
Yeah, but as to why they
I'll
don't
say-
help out a lot, I
but
wouldn't be able to speak on that too
But
much.
Los is not eligible to be who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking about OGs.
Oh, geez. I
Because
don't
Carlos
know.
is respected in comedy, for sure. Carlos is the sensei. But I'm talking about like our scene. I'm talking.
To me, it's
I'll
OG
say him by
though,
name.
but with different names.
Dave Chappelle, other than the love he showed you, was lit. But Mike Epps, Cat Williams, Kevin Hart, we can stop there. Those are our top. Those are the top 5. They've been in for the last 40 years. They've been the ones that have been, undulating around being number 1, 2, 3, and 4 in all of comedy.
Why they don't help the younger black comedians, I wouldn't be able to really tell you though, Nate Jackson. I'm not a black.
No, I get that, but I'm saying any, not just black, any.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
like
don't
take
know.
color out now.
Take color out now.
When have you seen an OG of that level, a number 1 comic, be like, this guy's got the juice, fuck with him? Outside of you, I don't know if I've seen it.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, it was like you, Ken, like, I haven't seen it. Now, I added the cultural layer to it because I'm just like, well, what's that about?
On the cultural basis, I wouldn't be able to tell you. On the
Nah,
other
but
basis,
I don't even want the conversation to be about culture. I was just saying it was the prerequisite. So, like,
outside of culture, I think it comes down to the personal taste of that comic.
yes.
And the time and the place of when they saw that comic, and are they a person to like pay it forward? A lot of the comics that have helped me out, I've had moments with them where I'm like, hey, like, thank you so much. I hope one day I can pay you back for this.
Right.
And all the in what is in my opinion the greatest comics, all the greatest comics always respond with something like, don't worry about paying it back. Worry about paying it forward. When it's your turn, you put on, you know what I mean? So I think it comes down to like, are you what this person likes or doesn't like? And did this person happen to see your reel, your YouTube video? Like, social media changed the game on that part where they're just like, maybe they did see you, maybe they didn't see you. Maybe there's so much videos out there that sometimes they see you and they don't even think you need help. They're just like, yo, this person's already killing it. Or
Impossible.
Impossible?
Impossible.
I don't know.
You can't be the OG in a thing and not see the new ones coming.
It's true.
It's
I guess
most
so.
people's motivation. It's like, man, let me keep going because, some people are like, oh, let me feed my family. But at the end of the day, you're like, man, I got to stay ahead of these other motherfuckers. That's why a lot of people work hard. They go, if I go to sleep right now, the other people are still working.
Dave Chappelle also told me to stay off social media, which I'm not off of social media, but
Stay off of it?
I'll stay off of social media.
Like, in what regard?
Like, don't compare yourself to other comedians, and I guess don't read the comments and don't like fall into like the whole, like that thing will eat up your mental, So I still go on social media like I have to, and nowadays my job is kind of based off of it. But I make it a point to try my best not to watch stand up on social media.
Oh, no, I don't watch stand-up on social media. But again, like I said, I saw that moment And my initial, immediate, true, visceral response was happiness and pride for you. I didn't even know you when I'm watching that. I'm like, right on. The new school getting some love. Because it's classes. Like, that's a class of comic. That class was ahead of us. They've been getting to the game has changed. The pre-social media, those comics, it's rare that they look back at since social media was born and show any of us love. And just to address what you just said, if the tune was like, do I look at it so much that it's like eating at me and stuff? I don't. I just, for the sake of talking about it, and wondering why it doesn't happen more often, that's why I brought it up. I was concerned at one point, and I just released it. I said, I don't think there's going to be a torch getting passed. Based on what I've seen in the last 25 years, why would all of a sudden somebody be like, Nate, you got the juice?
That's why it's up to
So I
us
just
to
said, fuck it.
light torches and pass them.
Now you're cooking with grease.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, if you got your foot on the door, I'm going to build a whole nother place and have the door myself. I'll let who in who I want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's been the paradigm. I mean, you're sitting in my office. Like, you can see that I've said I'm going to build my own thing. I'm not going to wait. Like, it just is what it is. But it just sucks that it got to be like that, right? That to me. So,
Nah, for sure. And I totally get that. You know what? This one issue that I feel like I've been coming across now is and it kind of goes back to like what you're saying, like, where is it, you know, like the passing of torches, like I haven't seen it, like, where have you seen it? I haven't seen it. Is how do you ever feel like you've lent a helping hand to, even like if they're not comedians, like, but to comedians, to other people in the industry, and there's still people that feel like you owe them something, or like there's still people out there that be like, man, he don't help nobody. Like, sometimes I came across a Facebook post the other day. Well, somebody sent it to me, and they're like, I think this is about you. And somebody was complaining about like that they used to help me or a young comic. Maybe it's not about me, but and like now I can't even offer them a guest spot or something like that. And it's like, bro, like out of all the people I've helped out, which I feel like I've helped out a handful of people at this point, comedy wise, it's like there's still these people harboring these feelings that I haven't done enough for them or for other past comics or new comics and stuff. And it's just like, damn, like I could help so many people or do what I think is considered helping them. But because other people haven't necessarily seen it, they might still see me as like this person that doesn't help. And it's like, damn, I guess it's like you can't please everybody. But does that ever happen to you? Is there people that are just like, why don't you help out, Nate Jackson? Why haven't you helped yet? You know what I mean? Why haven't you done your part?
Yes and no. So the yes is, yeah, anyone that has gotten some money and came up has that. You can't please them. There's not enough. Like Kendrick said, it's not enough. It's never going to be enough, right? Second thing is no, because I've been doing comedy so long that it's like, I mean, Wildin' Out was years, almost a decade ago, right? Now, where I'm from is a small town. This is the bigger city from where I'm from. It's 30 minutes south of here. And so for a fat kid from Lacey to be on Wildin' Out is crazy. Like, it is, you got a better chance of this 3x5 card scoring a touchdown. Okay, like that's how ridiculous it is. So I've done for people to where like, yeah, you can give back enough to where they're like, you know what, he has done enough, right? Maybe you gotta fucking donate a slide at the park right next to that person's house so they shut the fuck up. Or you could just not give a fuck and be like, dog, it is what it is. Here's what I do know. It's not on you to give more. It's not on you to shut that person up. The people you've already given to should handle that for you.
Yeah, that too.
They should be like, yo, what the fuck? Like, you should have if that's on Facebook, there should be multiple comments that are like, who the fuck are you talking about? I know you ain't talking about my boy Ralph because he this, and it. You know what I'm saying? That's really how that should be handled because somebody else is, again, it's insatiable. You already said you gave somebody some money, and due to their spending habits, they're right back in a position where they need the same money or more now. In other words, it's not enough.
It's not enough.
And it'll never be enough. If you give out everything you got to everybody who needs some more, guess what you're going to have? Not a goddamn thing. So it's not enough. The thing is, circle yourself with people who aren't going, gimme, me. Or they're willing to work for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no, it's never going to be enough. And that sucks. It sucks that that's where you're at. But how long you been doing comedy?
Like 9 years.
9 years. And it's 2025. So 6 years ago, 3 years in the comedy, you won Texas Funniest.
Yeah.
And then stuff started rolling?
Not right away, but it did help a lot, you know.
How long ago was Fallon?
Fallon was, I want to say January 2023.
Got it. So then when did this It's Not Enough stuff start happening?
I feel like it's always been like up and down. Like, anytime that I put on a show back home in Dallas, if comics that I used to open mic with wanted a spot, the first one to hit me up, I'd be like, yeah, come on. But if it'd be too many people, then yeah, at some point I'm like, man, it's already a lot of people on the show, right? But, you know, not a whole lot would hit me up about it. If comics wanted to come hang out, I always would want them to feel more than welcome. Like, bro, like, I don't care if you're on the show or not. Like, you can always come hang out. You know what I mean? Now, I will say this. The comics that showed me a lot of love and would, like, come and hang out at shows or, like, comics that I remember, like, my first headline gig ever in Dallas, I wasn't famous at all. It was just, like, that club liked me, and they're like, you want to come headline? And
nice.
Like, so comics that supported shows like that, if I had a chance to put them on, I would put them on first because I'm like, well, they always showed love when I needed it the most, you know? But I guess maybe there's a few comics from back then that felt like, oh, I looked out for you. Why didn't you look out for me? But I'm like, bro, like, I can't fucking, like, I'm not Superman. Like, I don't have enough shows to look out.
Exactly. How many times? That's what I'm saying. That's why I asked you how long you've been doing comedy. Because if you were in a position where you needed to be put on by somebody, it was before 2019.
Yeah.
Now you're Texas Funniest. You don't need nobody to put you on.
Also, it's
so you only got a 3-year window of spots that somebody could have gave you. You were mostly at the back door at the Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
So they put you on a spot. Bet. You did the spot. It went good. It helped your career. You come to town. That person asked you on the spot. You put them on one. Cool. You come back and they're like, yo, put me on again. Hey, man, we 1 for 1 already. How many times I got to give you?
Or even if I haven't put them on, like, bro, like, just show up. Just come out. Like, a lot of these people, like, I feel kind of bad, too. Sometimes I look through the message requests in my inbox, and they'll be like, I'll see a message from 3 months ago.
Yeah, that box is trash, because you get shit from 8 years ago. You didn't even know.
Or it'd be like a message from 3 months ago, like, can I get a spot on the show? And then maybe I didn't see it. And then now you're over here making posts for like, he's one of them that never helped me out. It's like, bro, show up to my show then. If we're on that level, just come to the show.
If your only way to get me is Facebook new notification request box that it doesn't even let me know I got, we're not close enough for you to be asking me for no favor any goddamn way.
And even if
you
I
don't
didn't
know
see it, bro.
You don't know nobody that can be like, yo, get in.
Like, pull up to my show and just ask me, bro. Like, or just come hang out. Even if I can't put you on the show, like, come hang out, bro. I got you next time, something. But also, it's like, bro, like, I don't have enough shows in the world to put on everybody. And even if I did, like, it's so many people. Like, I'm not going to have a specific list of everybody that's always helped me out. Because, and I think you'll agree with this, to really make it in this industry, it takes like 1 million helping hands.
A whole hell of a lot.
And if all of them are waiting for me to pay them back, it's like, bro, I'm in there. I don't have it. I don't have enough shows to pay them all back.
That's why the best ones are the ones that say, don't worry about giving it back.
Don't worry about it.
Pay it forward. Those are the best ones.
And they don't need you to pay it back. You know what I mean?
Right.
The best ones don't need you to pay it back.
Right.
The ones that are like, why don't you pay it back? It's like, bro, like, why do you need me that bad? You know what I mean? Like I will do my part to like throw you, but I'll tell you right now, if you're somebody that helped me out back then, I can look out for you with a spot on a show here and there. But I guarantee you doing a spot on my show is not gonna be that thing that like
They don't want to hear that though.
they don't. Yeah, but and even for the new comics, there's new comics who are like a year, 2 years, 3 years in the game, and I'll show them love too. Like, you want to come be on my show? Like, come be on my show.
They're
like,
not ready.
You want to talk about stuff? Like, come on. But they start like, there was a young dude one time in the club, like a young comedian, I forgot his name. He was all in my ear, like, bro, if you just gave me the chance, like, bro, I can show you what I got and we can go far. And it's like, bro, like, you 3 years in the game. Like, I'm not even trying to sound like a veteran, but I'm a little more experienced than you, and like I still feel like I'm paying dues. Like I'm and it's like, bro, you got like a long way to go. Like I couldn't bring you on here out of just respect for comedy, respect for the game, like just fucking
A respect for yourself. People ask me for opportunities, and I say, don't ask me for something that you're not ready for. Because if I give it to you, the opportunity will not come back around again, if ever. And if it does come back around, it'll be much longer from now. I own a comedy club. You talking about somewhere where people are like, let me. I got a stage. And people want on the stage. If I have a showcase or something that leads to another opportunity, whether it's a real tangible opportunity or not, the line's around the block, and they swear it's the thing that's gonna make them pop.
yeah.
I'm like, hey man, let's just relax. Like, I made a comedy contest called the Funniest Motherfucker Out Here contest. Literally made it up, Ralph. Let's do a contest. What should we call it? Funniest Motherfucker. Bet. Put people in it. We do it. There's a guy that doesn't win. He's in the showroom. After the shit is done, we've cleared out the whole room, lights off. I see a figure in there when I'm going to cut the lights out. I'm like, the fuck you doing in here? I'm just visualizing, bro. I really gotta have this. Have what? This shit I made up? Man, let's go get a burger, bro. Get the fuck up out of here. Like, get out of my fucking, get your ass out this showroom and get in your motherfucking car before I smack shit out you. Like, comics have it's crazy. The younger comics is delusional to be like, if I kill this open mic, I'm gonna pop. Do you know how many yeses it takes? It ain't the one thing. And then they act like because they can't have that one thing, now you a gatekeeper. You block me.
Yeah.
Ralph ain't put me on. You the reason that I'm not successful. Bro, if I put you up for that thing, even if you're ready, even if you kill it, the opportunity's not going to do so much. Now, let's say you don't kill it because you went up there early asking for some shit you weren't ready for. Now, don't nobody even want to see you in the contest for the next 5 years. Like, what, man, he fucking bomb. That dude went up there and ate baby dicks, bro. Do not put him up again. But it was like, if you would have just waited 4 months, wrote, developed your shit, you'd have been ready for it when it was time.
That was a mistake I used to make a lot too, was just kind of being too eager to like hurry up and make it. But I didn't even make it until I learned to just be comfortable where I'm at.
Yes.
I feel like you have to fucking just enjoy every step of comedy. Just enjoy it. When you're in the open micing days, bro, enjoy it. Time can only help you. It can help you hone your craft. And I even feel like things took off for me a little too quick. You can't choose. I'm not going to pick and choose. Like, I'm not ready to take off. You're like,
right.
I don't think I was ready to be a headliner. I was barely like, I felt like I was crushing it as a feature act. You know what I mean? I could do 25 minutes like badass and make you think that like I had everybody like, I wish you were a headliner. Like, yeah, but I don't got an hour. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
But I learned to headline. I just kind of, that was a hard fact for me, was like, as fans are coming in, I knew I wasn't ready to headline, but I'm taking these gigs and I'm just like, fuck it. Hopefully these fans are okay with growing with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so far they have been. And I think, my fans can speak for me. This is up to them. But I feel like if you've seen my shows over the past 2 years, I think you've seen me grow as a comic and become a headliner. I was touring for about 7 months before I had my first set where I was just like, that was a headliner set. Like,
wow. Like a solid 45.
Like a solid 45, somewhere between 45 to an hour. I was just like, that was a fucking headliner set, you know? And so I was like, bro, like, accept where you're at and grow. Like, love that shit. And you know,
I'll say this in regards to eagerness. There are some acts where 1 year in, they're like, I'm a goat.
yeah.
And you're like, what? I mean, they're crashing shows. They're popping up on stuff. They're forcing themselves into situations. They're very aggressive and overbearing in their home markets. I've always said, don't do that. Let it come to you. Then, secondly, let's flip the coin on that. Let's look at the other side of it. There's acts that have been doing comedy for a very long time that have not grown. Just because they've been doing it a long time doesn't mean that they grew.
Yeah.
Right? Like they never wrote nothing new.
That's another thing. Don't get too comfortable.
Yeah. And then there's acts who have been writing, who have been ready, who have been tough than a motherfucker, and still nothing is giving. Right? When they're eager, I'm like, rightfully so.
Yeah.
Please. That's the one time I'm like, it makes sense. You've been grinding 20 fucking years. You're fucking hilarious. You're ready. Let me get. Dog, let him get. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because for some reason, whether it was a torch or an opportunity or something, it just skipped them or whatever. It just found a way to be, they're the rock in the river that just goes around for 20 some years. Usually it's their own vices. It's something they did. That's why it's like, well, how you been doing it 20 years and we ain't shit pop? You know, my baby mama. Like, there'll be something, some story. But for the young comics, I cannot stand, let me get. And then you're not ready. And I'm telling you, you're not ready. All right, let me show you you're not. You can have it. And then they go up and then they do what I said they were going to do. Now they want to fade into anonymity. No. Stay right up here with that same.
Yeah.
You was just tough. Come on back and be tough and rah-rah. You know, you bombed. Stay in the same light you bombed in. Grow from it. Pressure busts pipes. It also builds diamonds. You bombed. Now what you gonna do? Get a pen and write your way out of whatever made you get booed or bomb or whatever. But asking me for something early and then I give it to you and then you eat a box of baby dicks and now you want to fade away for 4 years.
You know, that's why I love Joe Torre. I hosted for him when I was really early on into comedy.
Okay.
And I would introduce him. He told me how to do his intro. He's like, yeah, just say, you know, I was on this or whatever. I was like, all right. I introduced him. I'm like, give it up for Joe Torre. And he would just stand at the entrance and just watch me. He wouldn't come up on stage.
Huh.
And then I was just like, oh, man, it was awkward. And so I would just kind of like start chit-chatting with the audience or say some shit or just pull something out of my ass to like, I don't want it to just be dead air up there.
Right.
And then he would come up and he'd be like, all right. Like, but he wouldn't come up until I was like getting them laughing. And he did that like a few times. But by the end of the weekend, he was just like, hey, man, quick on your feet. He's like, I saw that pressure made you think of some more shit to say. And he was always cool to me after that. But it was like, I like that shit. Some people see it, they're like, that's fucked up. It's being an asshole. Like, but I like that shit. That's the shit that like makes you better, in my opinion.
Takes heat to mold iron. Joe Torre is also a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I don't want to make this about my fraternity, but we just have a certain type of like attainments that we go for. But I'm saying as somebody who has a comedy club with spots that we need to book, I could see how a young comic would see that as I'm a gatekeeper to their own success. But nothing's stopping them from building their own stage the way I built mine. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's stopping them from getting a coffee shop and running a shitload of time or becoming a host or even putting a proposal together, coming to me like, hey, man, let me get a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Nothing, because I'm like, shit, if it helps me, it helps me, it helps you.
You got to work at this. You got to work at this like a lot. And not necessarily, it's like you can't always be asking for promotion, but you do always have to work at this.
Yep.
You have to work at it like a lot. Like a lot. Like people, one time, I saw this video on YouTube with Hannibal Buress.
Yep.
Where they asked him any advice to anybody who wants to do comedy or something like that. And he just looked at the camera. He was like, work hard. And it's like, bro, I never understood until I really started doing comedy and everything what it was to work hard. Like, work hard doesn't mean like, all right, I bust my ass. I mean, yeah, it does mean you bust your ass at your 9 to 5, but like to work hard, comedy gave work hard a whole other definition in my mind. It just like fucking it's a never ending thought process. You're never done thinking about it. You're never done working on it. There's always something going on. So it's like, yeah, it's a lot, man. If you're trying to make it in comedy, you better be ready to fucking
kiss your nights goodbye.
That's
for sure. Those are gone. The next 7 years of your life, you just gave to comedy because you think you're funny.
You ain't going to no like parties. I miss so many of my friends and families.
You go all of that. Everybody's gonna be buying homes, raising families, starting to have kids, all of that, and you're back grinding in the comedy clubs. You're grinding, and you're gonna look up, and when this shit hits, yeah, you'll be a little bit older or whatever, but now you can get anybody you want pregnant. Now your house bigger than theirs. You waited. You couch surfed. Now you got your own.
Don't hate on other comedians doing better than you, even if you don't. I see this a lot too. It's like, I think I'm funnier than them, but they're doing better than me. And it's like that looks bad on you.
Yeah,
if somebody,
I've never been that person.
I've never been that person, but you gotta like,
or if I have, because I'm human. If I have, I've checked my own self to be like, yeah, that's hating.
Yeah, no, and that we're only human. Like we feel that stuff, but comedy is like, yeah, if you're undeniably funny, you know, people will notice you and you'll get opportunities.
Maybe,
but I don't think it's enough. You have to have some sort of business mind for it too. And be creative in that aspect as well, is to like, all right, how can I get from point A to point B? Like, I want to be at point Z.
Yes.
But you got to work your way. How can I get a B? How can B give me the C? You know what I mean? And so you have to think about other stuff, not necessarily be like conniving, but you got to think about, how can I meet this person? How can I get this opportunity? How can I do this? And you have to be good in that. You have to think about that shit too, as well as like becoming a good comedian. Because if you don't, you're going to see somebody who's not as funny as you are, but is better at the business side of it. And then they're doing better than you. But also, don't let those people surpass you then. If you really feel like you're funnier than somebody and they're better than you, that means they're working harder, smarter than you. Like, fucking learn from them. Anybody who's doing better than you, learn from them. Anybody who's doing worse than you, learn what not to do. Like, you can learn from everybody. Don't ever be like, it's just not fair because it's not fair. Like, nah, this is fucking rhyme and reason to almost everything. Almost
everything.
Almost everything.
And on that note, because it feels like a very full circle moment to how you were raised, with grandparents telling you what not to do based on what your parents was doing.
Yeah.
I think that's what gives us the insight with older parents and how we came up. And so I'm going to wrap up the episode here, but tell them where they can find you.
I'm on Instagram, Ralph Barbosa 03. I also have an automotive YouTube channel now with my buddy Luis. It's called Formula Bean. That's Formula_Bean. I got my own podcast with my buddy Jaime Garcia. It's called the Fat Fish Podcast.
Jaime! That's what's up. And with that, hey, man, check out the rosescollection.com. Ralph Barbosa.
Okay.
Claps for me.